Hey guys, welcome to TCR. Today we are going to talk about Bootstrap Farmer and microgreens.
Absolutely. So if you saw the one video that I posted about microgreens, I have decided to give it a go. And the guys from Bootstrap Farmer reached out and let me know that they were very polite about the fact that I need a little assistance with my microgreen operation. So what's super awesome is they sent me a bunch of cool stuff to help me get started with my microgreen operation.
So let's talk about why we're growing microgreens. There's some great health benefits. Anytime that you sprout a seed, the protein levels are higher and you get a lot more health benefits. We won't get into all of that, but just like when you're looking at buying bread from the store, you always want to look for sprouted grains in your bread, just because the health benefits that go along with that are just so much better for you, and there's less processing that goes on in it. So same thing, it's great, especially during the winter if you want to add this to your salads or stuff. It just gives you an extra little boost.
This is all an experiment for me. I have no experience growing microgreens, but I love so much about the idea of it, and I love because so many things that we do, we try to do sustainably and symbiotic. So for me, the idea of, a lot of people are buying chemicals that they're using for the grow nutrients. And of course you have to get those from the store or order them online. And when you're trying to create, kind of a sustainable situation on your own property, where are you going to get those nutrients to grow these? So for me, that's where the worms come in. I hope. My plan is to try to feed these with worm tea as I move forward. And we're gonna take a quick glance over at my worm farm right now. You guys ready? We've got our little worm farm right here. I've got some food for them that we're getting ready to feed them. So let's take a look at this real quick. If you didn't see the previous video that we did on how we made this, you'll notice this has holes along the sides, and you'll notice it's inside of another container and it's slightly raised up. I just put a couple cans of green beans underneath this, in between the two, to hold it up. So I've got my air holes, and I have a couple of holes in the bottom, but right now what I have in here is a whole bunch of red wigglers. Let's take a look at them. So here's what's going on. I got some sprouts because of what I've been feeding them, but we're gonna look in here and see if we can, oop, there we go. Look at that. You see that little guy? Woohoo!
Red wiggler, no doubt.
Red wiggler. So we're using the red wigglers because that's really what all the research I've done has suggested is what we're supposed to use. Some people have said, hey, use night crawlers because they're better fish bait. Well, I'm not trying to make fish bait. I'm trying to make amazing vermicompost, and then eventually out of the castings from these worms, worm tea that I'm then going to be able to use, for my microgreen. What we got right here is coffee grounds and some greens from the lettuce, and we've got some citrus. So what I'm going to do is just kind of move some of this dirt out of the way here and get a little pocket to put my food in.
Ooh, there's a whole bunch of worms right there too.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. I can just see the soil just moving.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's neat, yeah.
And then I'm just going to kind of bury that a little bit, right? And these worms are just going to gobble that up. And what these worms are doing is they're turning all of this compost and then all the food that we give them into worm compost, what people call vermicompost. And when they're done with all this, what this is going to be is just a thing full of worm castings. So then, somebody pointed out in my last video, I mentioned that that the worms were going to make me some worm tea, and dude was like, yo man, you don't know what you're talking about. The worms don't make worm tea. You have to make that. So of course then I went and did some research, and he's right. I'm going to have to do some things in order to make worm tea, which is totally cool because we'll make another video out of that, right? So, but for now, I have my worm farm going. I have a game plan, and that's what life is about, right? Get a game plan and then start trying to achieve it. So let's go back and talk about all this cool stuff that Bootstrap Farmer sent us to get our microgreen operation going. Okay. So we happen to have these two big 48-inch wide bay windows that are south facing. So it's like a no-brainer for me to utilize those for a couple of reasons that have to do with plants. One, to get my seeds started in the spring, but 6 weeks before they go out in the garden, and two, to get microgreens going. So I picked up these racks, I set them up in here, and then everything that you see right here is stuff that Bootstrap Farmer sent me. Now, a lot of people are buying their micrograin seeds online from micrograin seed providers, and I will likely get to that point. But what I've done here is I've actually used up some of my previous year's radish seeds. Now, if you'll see, this is not a great example of what a microgreen tray should look like, because obviously the germination rate was low, but that's why I used them for this, because they're a couple of years old and they're not the ones that I want to use this year in the garden. So instead I sprouted them, and we're gonna put these in a salad. Here I have kind of a mixture of a whole bunch of different seeds that we've just been chopping off bunches and throwing them in our salad as we go. And again, this is all stuff from Bootstrap Farmer. Then additionally, I have, check this out. This has got a little weight to it. So what's going on here, these are really strong, really awesome seed starting pots. And I've actually gone ahead, it's a little early for starting a lot of things here, but I've started 2468 Colorado Star artichokes because I want to get those, big enough that they can vernalize. So I can put them outside and let them get cold. And then I've started in here a whole bunch of chard, because chard likes cold. I have chard, kale, a bunch of stuff outside that likes cold. So, and again, this is a setup that Bootstrap Farmer sent me for starting these seeds. And you'll see this tray sits inside of another tray that actually holds water. So as I water these, I don't worry about it leaking. So, and if you'll notice, they sent me 2 complete setups. So I've got all this real estate ready to start more seeds as we get closer to spring. So we also have some domes for the smaller size trays. And these are used when you're like bringing plants up that you want to get, to a size before they go out in the garden. We have some for the larger ones. Once those begin to pop up through the soil, we'll utilize these. I really appreciate that. And then we have, 72, I think this is 72 seed trays for starting stuff for the gardens. I can start so many seeds for my garden with this stuff. And then this is super, this is crazy. These, the 6-packs that you get from like the local, for us it's Home Depot, wherever you are, I don't know. Check this out, watch this. Oh, it's 25 pounds, okay? Are you kidding me right now? You wanna see something cool? Watch this. This is the one from Home Depot that you get plants in. So all I'm saying is the quality of this stuff is really good. These are gonna last several years, and that's important to me. I don't wanna be throwing plastic away because, the environment and all that shit. So, if I can get a good quality product that's gonna last a lot of years, that's super important. So let's talk about these trays real quick. So this is this is a sturdy tray. This is nothing like the trays that you get from the big box store. We have trays that have holes in the bottom of them, like this. You see the holes in the bottom? I have this one set up. We're about to plant some seeds. And then notice how this one has no holes, right? This goes inside of this, right? And hell, let's plant some seeds. I've got some cilantro seeds and some basil seeds that we actually harvested from our garden. I've got a bunch of basil right here that I'm still in the process of harvesting seeds from. I'm gonna try not to get that moist. In fact, I'm gonna move that out of the way. So,
how many times can you say the word moist? Oy.
Híjole. So, look, again, you can buy your sprouting seeds from the store, or you can harvest seeds from your own plants. That's kind of the way I'm doing it for now. I'm sure we'll wind up buying stuff, but for now, what I'm gonna do, take a bunch of these cilantro seeds, and I've got this hemp pad. I'm gonna put a link to this hemp pad on our below. You can use coconut coir. There's all kinds of mediums you can use, but the idea is that there's no dirt here because that way you're not risking mixing dirt in with your kitchen. These are from year before last harvest. So again, that's one of the things I'm doing with my microgreens is I'm using up seeds that are starting to get a year older than what I want to use in my garden. Okay, I got a bunch of cilantro seeds in there. I'm just gonna add some of our basil seeds also because basil like mixed in with the cilantro as a microgreen sounds cool to me. Again, why not? So there you go. Okay, so the hemp pad was moist before I put these in here. Now what I'm gonna do is spray a little bit of H2O on top of these seeds, right?
For those of you that hate the word moist,
I use it a lot when I'm doing this.
Say damp instead in your mind.
Right. Now, keep in mind, guys, I'm so new to this game. It's okay if I'm doing it wrong. It's okay if you do it wrong initially. We're all learning. I have some really cool tools. So now what we're gonna do is we wanna black these seeds out. Seeds germinate underground, right? So we don't want the sunlight hitting them while they're germinating. I'm gonna take this right here, and I'm gonna set it on top of them. I'm gonna put a weight on there, and I'm gonna leave that on there while they germinate, so the roots will go down into the hemp pad, and then after they've germinated and they've started to kind of come to life after a day or two, I'll take this off, flip it upside down, put it on top of them. Now they still have no light, right? So they start getting kind of leggy, right? That's what we call them. And they're going up, so they'll get taller before I finally take this off and let them have sunlight, and then they'll start to turn green. So we're gonna do that right now. We're gonna put this on top of here. Okay, I'm gonna grab this weight right here, which happens to be a paver stone, put it in there, and I'm just gonna put it up on my shelf. That's it. And we're gonna put an affiliate link in the description below for Bootstrap Farmer so that you can go get all this cool stuff or some of this cool stuff or whatever you want, but it's all cool stuff on their website to get some of your own microgreens. And everything from a small operation like we're doing all the way up to like massive like in greenhouse operations. It's all on their website. Go check it out.
Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell so you get the notifications.